YouTube, you name it, there's a network out there for pretty much everything. And so it might be a little tough at first to understand exactly which one is right for you and your business. So in this first part, we're going to be talking about how to find your customers online and also how to pick the right social network for you. If you're a big brand or a big time business, chances are almost any social network is going to play a part for you. Okay. A lot of the quote unquote big boys that play in the big spaces. And I think if you're one of those people, you should be playing in those spaces too. Like, don't think that just because you're not a major brand that you can't play in the big boy field. You can. They have the ability to use the same platforms, and you have the ability, to use the same platforms that they are using. The only thing is that they just have the capital to advertise more, but there are ways for you to capture their audience as well. And if you get creative enough, you will find it. If you're a small business, I suggest that you pick 3 social networks to participate in. These 3 networks, accompanied with something we call the 30-20-10 rule, is a great way for you to get started and get yourself into conversations that are already happening around your products and services that you probably aren't even aware of. But a lot of times people are like, which 3 networks should I choose from? And we can't really tell you exactly which ones will work for you in your business because we don't know. You have to figure out based on your analytics what's working for you and what's not working for you. Because for some people, Snapchat is a great platform for them. But for us, it's not a platform that we choose to use because it's not, something that works for us. So again, it's not just a one-size-fits-all platform. You have to find what works for you in your business and go after that, okay? So with that being said, what we're going to focus on here is finding your customers across all of these different networks and finding out which ones are the most important and most beneficial to you in your business. The first thing you have to understand when you're trying to find your customers online is that searching is your best friend. You have to search for these people. You know what I'm saying? You have to find your tribe. You have to attract your tribe and then vibe with your tribe. All right. So when you use the search features that are built into sites like Facebook, LinkedIn is a great platform, really great platform. And even Twitter, you can find conversations that are happening all across the globe, which many different types of people that are already talking about the things you create or the products and services that you sell or provide are having discussions. So you can tap in on that. On Twitter, for instance, you can do an advanced search, which allows you to break things down based on location, even languages. You can search for specific hashtags, keywords, even users if you like. I mean, if you want to go into a user's conversation, you can actually do that, I believe, on Twitter. And find out things that are happening around the areas that you're an expert in, and then join in on those conversations with the users that are already there. I mean, how easy is that? It's just right there. All you have to do is search that hashtag. You have to find these people, look for them, look for your tribe, look for your audience. All right. But Facebook is a bit different. Facebook has something called a graph search. This is sort of what they call a humanized search engine that allows you to push just regular phrases into the search box. So for instance, you could type out people who use Adobe Photoshop, and Facebook's going to return to several different listings of people that are doing that in groups, individually, and other places. Okay, so it breaks it down for you, but kind of, different from the other platforms. I can click on those and explore those people and what's happening and engaging and start engaging with those people in their conversations. You can also search for, your own business on Facebook and see if people are leaving reviews, if people are saying things good or bad about you. But you always want to do that to see what's going on out there, like what's really being said and being done out there, especially when it comes to your business and brand. So take full advantage of that while you can. All right. LinkedIn is a great network because, those are where all the decision makers are, per se. the people that cut the check. There's a lot of people on LinkedIn professionally that can, open up a lot of doors for you. I've met some really awesome and amazing people on LinkedIn, some very high profile people on LinkedIn. So thank you all out there, because some of them have joined the network, but thank you all for the connections, because, it's been a beautiful experience and a great learning lesson. All right. So again, it all depends on what works for you, what works for your brand, your business, and what's going to help it expand. It's also a great way to find people that might be using products and services related to what you're doing, and you can connect with them and make them part of your own personal community on LinkedIn. When you're using mobile applications like Instagram, you're going to have to rely on simple searching capabilities for things like hashtags. So if you're not really familiar with hashtags and you're on Instagram and you're just posting pictures and videos and you're not using hashtags, you're not getting the full capability of Instagram, because it's really, it thrives off of hashtags. So you have to get creative with the hashtags, find the ones that work for you. Also, there's certain times during the day to actually post on all these platforms. To be truthfully honest, it's not just Instagram, it's not just Facebook and Twitter. All of them have certain time frames that actually are peak hours that'll work for advertising and promoting and things like that. And when it comes to promotion, always think 80-20. The 80-20 rule is 80% non-promotional and 20% promotional. I do believe that is how it's supposed to go. Yeah. Sometimes, people can get overboard, especially when that money isn't coming in. So they're pushing out more promotions than they are non-promotions. But it gets like that. I mean, it happens. But you kind of want to keep it the 80-20 rule, okay? And it works. It really does work. Just trust in it. Trust in the process. So yeah, you have to figure out your platform, figure out what works best for you. These networks are going to be the ones that generate the best traffic, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Instagrams. For now, at the time of this course, they are the ones that are generating the most income for businesses, small business startups, and entrepreneurs. So get familiar, pay close attention, and explore each individual one for its, benefits. All right. So we are going to next go into, designing for your social media, online, and how to get things going. If you're not familiar with Photoshop, it's okay now. There's so many cool things out there now where they're just drag and drops and can get you going and make you look like a real professional and get your business up and going. So that will be what we will be discussing next. Just stay tuned.
I needed you that over me that now, and my mama say, hey, get that there, and I'll be there, sweet it, and bubbly, third, everybody, better search in a day at a time, mighty seem to play away, right, she not a gadget, like, yeah, well, she a bitch, she'll get up on the night, she was looking at that plan. When she seen it, she didn't early. She up on me like she on it. Give go. I'm about to pain that.
All right, Queens. Now we are in the third part of the course, where we are designing your social platform. All right, because it's really important that your social platform represents your business, represents your brand, represents you. Okay, and the message that you want to come across. All right. So now that we know how to find our users, it's time to do what we call baiting the hook. All right. Like throwing out your bait and catching your fish. All right. This means bringing in the fish before you rip them out of the water. All right. For the sale. And in this case, what we're talking about is filling out your social profile, completely, and making sure that it makes sense aesthetically for you and your brand. It has to make sense. You don't want to confuse your potential customers, clients, members, or what have you. All right, tribe members or what have you. There's simple formula, that everyone pretty much follows. You have to have an eye-catching image, of course, compelling headline, useful information, and calls to action, which is very important because people like to be told what to do, believe it or not. You know, people like to be told, hey, click this button and go here, and they're going to do it, you know, but you have to do that call to action. All right. So that's really important. And one thing you have to understand is that the design of your profile, it really does matter. You have to, you know, have something that is going to attract people and make people want to connect. All right. When people visit your page, they need to understand that it's you and your business being represented. So having something very compelling that relates to who you are and what you do is very important. It is in your budget. If it's in your budget, excuse me. I would suggest hiring a designer. All right. You know, if you are not into graphics, Photoshop, all that good stuff, hire a designer. I strongly suggest going on Fiverr.com. You can hire a contractor. They have some fabulous ones on there that are totally affordable, and they're for hire, and they have a time limit on when they can produce the work, which is totally cool. So I suggest going on Fiverr.com and finding you a designer. Or if you can't do that, then go on Canva, Canva.com, and you can create some really cool graphics on there and make your everything look good and professional, because that's what it's all about, is branding and packaging and making it look aesthetically cool. Okay. I'm sure you already have some, you know, graphics and stuff out there for your sites, and that's just fine. As long as you have some images and logo and text which complement one another. Okay. So when you're designing your social medias and things like that, make sure that everything flows together. Keep that in mind, and that it all makes sense. You're not confusing people on different platforms. You know, like on Twitter, you're doing one thing, on Facebook, you're doing another, and on Instagram, you're portraying something else. Like, keep it flowing. Okay. Keep it together pretty much. All right. All right. So you need to just develop an asset package, which contains all of the images and text that you are going to use. And this is really essential when designing your brand, because you want to keep things in order. You don't want to become overwhelmed with stuff all over the place. So keeping things in order is really essential. You need to make sure that you understand the limits of your platform, meaning how big should this image be? You know, how long can descriptions be and stuff like that. And also, you need to keep in mind that you need to be creating a unified experience for all of your users across all of these platforms. All right. So that way they know exactly what you do and what you can do for them. All right. Understand that on Twitter, you know, we're not really Twitter people, but, you know, we understand that a lot of the ladies in the network are. It's very rare that someone actually going to your Twitter page, you know, and not really understand what you do is, you know, but people will go on there and not really understand and be looking around and kind of get confused. So you really want to pinpoint your why and help them understand, again, who you are, because I don't know, for some reason people get confused when they get to Twitter for some odd reason. It's really easy to use, but, you know, I'm just not a fan of it or whatever. Sorry. All right. So that's really important. Facebook we found to be very beneficial when it comes to business, because Facebook, I mean, it's really about business. That's kind of how it started off from my understanding. It was about small businesses coming together. You know, entrepreneurship wasn't really hot back then, but now it's, you know, people are becoming more familiar with it. They're becoming more comfortable with it. And yeah, it's a thing now because it is the future. So Facebook definitely is providing a platform for small business entrepreneurs and startups that we love, because we've generated some really healthy income from the Facebook platform. So thank you, Facebook, because, you know, so far so good. It's provided a great platform, you know, with the live feeds now, with just how you can interact with. I love how you can use the microphone, voice recorder in the messages now. I conduct a lot of mentorship sessions like that, and it's just great. So again, whatever platform works for you, use it. All right. But when it comes to the aesthetics of your brand and your business, it's really important that people, when they see your logo, that they know it's you, that when they see your brand, they know it's you. It needs to be recognizable. I mean, someone needs to come to your page and see that the profile is you and not somebody else on one platform, and then go to another platform and there's something else and a different why and mission and everything else. All right. So keep it free flowing, make it look good, have fun with it, have your bios and your links and everything complete and up to date, and make sure that people understand what you provide. You need to make that as clear as possible. I don't care how much you understand it. Make sure that your tribe, they understand it. Make sure that your audience understands it, because that's what it's all about. You don't want to confuse them. Keep it consistent. That's what they need. Your audience wants you to be consistent. All right. So next we're going to speak about engaging with your audience. And that's up next. All right. So now we're going to start talking about engaging your audience. This is really important because you want to engage your audience. You don't want your audience to get tired or bored, and start falling off. So this is a really big topic. And this is something that everybody needs to learn how to do when they're building on their online community. Communities are a social entity. And when we talk about social things, we think about relationships, okay? So relationships between two people, relationships between brands and people, relationships between customers. All of those relationships matter. And by cultivating your online community properly, you can make sure that your relationships are good with all of your customers. And that's really the number one rule. You know what I'm saying? You want to connect with your audience and your customers, especially when you're online, because you're online, you're not physically there. So a lot of them don't know you. So your impression is really key, and it's really important on how you come off, online. Okay. So remember, everything you put out there is brand affiliated. All right. So you have to care about your customers and how they feel and what they think and all that good stuff. You can't say you don't care. You have to care. All right. There's a huge saying, that if you don't care, you won't convert. And that's really important because it's really that simple. You have to care about people and attend to their needs across all of these networks in order for them to become lifelong customers, members, subscribers, or whatever it is that you're going after. All right. Your end result. And caring is the number one way that you do that. Whether you know it or not, you're being viewed and reviewed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by everyone that's online or that's using your service or product. Okay. Like all hours of the day, night. It doesn't matter. Like someone's looking at you, your brand or your business. So whether it's on Yelp, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, or whatever, it doesn't matter. People are having conversations about you. They're having conversations about your customer service and you personally, your family. Trust me, the conversation is there. So you need to join into those conversations and become part of your own narrative. Okay. If that makes sense, you have to really be aware on what's being said out there, because word of mouth is the biggest form of marketing that you can have. All right. And people care about what other people say. So if you're not out there trying to figure out, what people are saying or what's being left behind, you're not protecting your brand. And that's really key in protecting your brand. You don't want stuff out there that's going to hurt your business or steer people away from wanting to be a part of your business or brand. Okay. So just be aware of what's going on out there. Be consistent with your audience, connect with them, vibe with them, and engage. People are constantly asking questions via email, Twitter, and Facebook. And we get dozens of questions, and we try to answer them as much as we can. But, it can become very overwhelming. And we understand that you're not going to be able to get to everybody. We get it. But just don't ignore people. Try to, if you did miss them, try to start a conversation to spark up the conversation again. If you haven't gotten to them in a couple of days and you kind of missed their message or whatever, but just don't leave them hanging. Reach out to your people, to your audience, to your tribes. Just don't leave them hanging. Let them know that you care. Search hashtags. You can find people, see what they're talking about. If you stick to certain hashtags, then it'll be easier for you to pinpoint and analyze what people are saying about your brand. But if you're all over the place with your hashtags, then you can't really pinpoint what people are saying. So find find a hashtag that's yours. You can't really trademark. I don't believe at this time of this course that you can trademark a hashtag. I haven't seen that. But if you use it frequently, people will notice it. People will know, oh, that's their hashtag. And when they click on it, normally that will take them to everything that's being posted under that hashtag. That's what it's all about, all right? So try it for yourself. Try it for your brand. It's going to help the influence of your brand and business and bring and attract in more audience and organic followers to your business and brand. Make sure that, you're sharing content, you're sharing your audience's information that is not just all about you. If you have a network that you're engaging and you're helping, your people, your community, you're liking, you're commenting, you're saying good things, saying happy birthday, let them know that you noticed them, that they mean something, because they do. And you should really appreciate your followers, subscribers, members, customers, or whatever form of service you provide, and whoever you have that is getting that service from you. Always appreciate them, because that's what being a thriving small business is about. It's about our clients and customers, and it's about them using our services. Okay, so always keep that in mind and know that it's all about customer service. But you do want to respond to your clients and customers as much as possible. Engage with them. Let them know that you care. Let them know that you're there. I want you to keep in mind when you're engaging with users, anytime someone says something about your content, good or bad, anytime someone reads a blog post, reshares it, whatever that case may be, always say thank you. Being appreciative for those people and becoming a part of their online community is very, very important, and just having that connection, because it makes them feel good and it makes you feel good. Trust me when I say this. And it's about creating that bond. All right. So go out there and create a bond, queens. Create a bond with your people. Inspect what you expect by going through your followers list and seeing who these people are that are interested in you. See who they are. Who are they? Do you really know who your followers are? Do you really know who's following you? Are there verified people following you? And if there are verified people, I hope you're following them back, because that's a connection. That's a first tier connection. And that's what it's all about. It's connecting, linking up, and engaging. Shout out to them, at them, tag them, send them a message, a direct message, like they're interested in you, your business, or your brand. They're interested in something, or they wouldn't be following you. All right. So get out there, grow your brand organically, get your audience connected, and you will see a growth and expansion in your brand. You can do this, queen. We believe in you.